Okay, welcome everyone to this arena zone. Today we'll be doing Hexcells. You see, I've already done it before, but I want to do a full run through from the Hexcells series. And I will be teaching you how to play Hexcells, basically. This is also the second attempt of recording my voice for scientific reasons. Don't worry about it, it's fine. We'll just do science later with this voice. But let's go. Let's do the first level. Well, I think the first few are gonna be so small that it's not gonna be the only thing in the video, but we'll see. Okay, so the first thing about hex cells is to correctly mark all orange cells blue or black to solve the puzzle. But I do think this is more like yellowish than orange. If you catch my drift. Yeah, but this is like Minesweeper where you have a number in a cell, and then you have adjacent cells that would be either a mine or a fake. And probably, well, in Hexcells terms, it's gonna be either a blue cell, which would be equivalent to the mine, or it's gonna be a black cell, which would be equivalent to another number, or maybe an empty cell. We'll see about those in the future, but I think right now we only have blue cells here because there's a 6, and 6 adjacent cells are blue. Since there are only 6 here, all of them are going to be marked blue because the number in the cell tells you how many adjacent cells are blue. Okay, this is the basic. This case, however, is the opposite of that. We have 0 adjacent blues, so we can mark all of these as black. And we can mark this as black because it's adjacent to 0, this is black, and oh, this is 1. So the only adjacent and available cell for this now is blue. There you go. Complete. With 0 mistakes so far. Well, it's the easiest level, so should be expected of someone who has played Hexcells before. But let's see. Okay, so we're starting on the left. This cell has 2 adjacent to it, so I'm gonna be both blue. This cell has 2 adjacent, it's gonna be blue. The same for these, and this is the only adjacent to it, so it should be 1. And now we have the 5 here. The 5 already has 5 adjacent blues next to it, so the leftover one is black. Now this adjacent one should be blue because it has 2 adjacent that are already blue, and there was left over only 1. Okay. On the right side we have 2 adjacent cells, with only being the 2 possibilities for this 2 to be completed. Well, I will be referring to the cells as completed when they have enough blues to satisfy them. And yeah, so this has the 2 to complete it. And now these 2 are completed, so this and this are completed, so this has to be black, and the last one has to be blue. Kinda easy so far. Well, I've played Hexcells before, so I hope it is easy. So 0 adjacent blues, so these are all black. 1 adjacent blue, this has to be blue. 1 adjacent blue here to this one. This already has an adjacent blue, so the other is black. And the leftover one here should be blue to satisfy all of these 3 together. Now, where do we start down here? We could start with the 0s. 0s are the easiest one to start because everything next to them is gonna be black. Now we have this 2 over here that has 2 adjacent blue cells, and are the only one that I can mark. This one over here has only 1 adjacent yellow cell to it. Only 1 yellow cell adjacent to it. Yes, that is the correct sentence. But this should be blue. And now this 2 is completed, so the rest of the adjacent are black. Now this one is completed, so this is black. And to complete this one, we need to blue this one. Yeah, now blue is a verb. You're welcome, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. My voice failed there. Let's drink some water. And here's to know if the sound of the water actually grabbed on the phone, the microphone. Let's see, this 2 is completed, so this is black. This 2 has to be completed with this one is blue. This one's completed, and this 2 has to be completed here. Therefore, this bottom 2 is completed and the rest is black. Excellent. Let's go for 1-4. Where to start? Well, in this case, I would start with this 4 right here because it only has 4 adjacent cells to it and it requires all 4 of them to be blue. Easy peasy. This one is satisfied, so the rest is black. And now to satisfy both the 3s and the 2s here, these cells has to be blue. Satisfying this one here is the blue cell, so your other adjacent is black. 0, 1, 1 adjacent, so this has to be blue, which make this completed. So this is black. This is black because it's a 0, and now to satisfy both these one, this one has to be blue. Therefore completing this blue and satisfying it. Now to complete both of these two, we need to, well, to complete this 2 we need to blue this cell, and to complete this 2 we need to blue this cell. Now what do we do? We've got to do some counting here. Maybe. Because we can't know which cell is going to satisfy this one yet. And these cells are disconnected, so we gotta figure something out. Oh, here you go. I wasn't paying attention. This one has to be satisfied by both of these being blue, which satisfies the 1, which satisfies the 0. And now to satisfy this 2, we need to blue this one, which satisfies the 1. And to satisfy this 1 and this 2, this has to be blue. And this is left over because this 2 is satisfied. Now here's an interesting thing about Hexcells, which I didn't see in Minesweeper. You have a remaining count here. Of course, the remaining count is in Minesweeper, but you can't use it to completely solve a puzzle as far as I know. In this case, we have these 2 cells which aren't adjacent to anything, so we wouldn't possibly know what they are, black or blue. But since we have 2 remaining cells to be blue, and these are the only 2 available to be blue, they have to be blue. Which is quite interesting. Oh, there's a next button. There you go. 1-5. Where to start? Here we have a couple good starts. We have both the 3, which only has 3 adjacent cells to it that are not marked, so they have to be blue. And this 4 right here, which has to be completed the same way, which further completes this 2, so all these cells are black, and now this one is already completed, this one is already completed, and that's done. Now we have this 3 over here around these cells. All of them have to be blue to satisfy the 3. The same with this cell for this 3. And now this 2 is satisfied, so mark it. This 2 is also satisfied because of the same blues. We're gonna do that, and therefore this 4 and the 3 can be satisfied with these cells right here. Satisfying the 1, mark it here. To satisfy this one, we need to mark this one as blue. And for this 2 right here, we need to mark this cell because it's the only one that will become blue to satisfy it. And this blue now satisfies this 2. It is completed. We can mark all other adjacent blacks as black. Now we have this one here is completed. Now we need to do some, oh, look over here. We have 4 cells for 4 blues. Perfect, the same thing as on the other side. Completes 2, completes the 1. This tree has to be completed with this one, which completes both these twos, which completes this two. And now we have to complete the one right here and satisfy the 3. And we have to make the 4 satisfy. You may ask yourself, what happens if you make a mistake? What happens if you mark a cell that is supposed to be blue as black or a cell that is supposed to be black as blue? Well, let's try over here. We have this 0, which requires 0 blue cells next to it, so none of them can be blue. If I try to mark one as blue with my right click, it doesn't accept it. Now we see I have one mistake over here, and this is gonna put down, score down me by 1. You see on the end screen. But let's solve this first. This 0, so requires all these to be black. This one requires to be blue to satisfy both of these blues here, and satisfying both of these ones. And to satisfy this one here, this needs to be blue. The 2 is completed. The 2 to be completed requires this blue. The 1 to be completed requires this blue. And this one to be completed requires this blue. And this one is now completed. We can mark those as black. And now this 2 needs to be completed here, completing the 3. This one needs to be completed here, completing this other one. Now we mark this as blue. We couldn't mark this one as blue in the start as well, because this 2 only has 2 cells adjacent to it. The same with this 2 over here, only 2 cells to be blue, completing the 1, forcing this one to be blue because of the 1. And down here we have completed 1. There you go. Now to complete this top 2 here, we have to mark this as blue, which completes the 1 and the 2. And now let's go to the bottom right. We have 2 cells to satisfy the 2, completing the 1, completing the other 1, and completing the 0. Now we have to mark this as blue to satisfy the 2, and mark this as blue to satisfy both the 1s. Specifically this one because it had no other option. Now this one's completed. This 2 requires the blue here to be completed, completing this 2. And now this one's completed because of the adjacent blue. We can mark those as black. Now we could start up here too at the beginning. Now we got to it. These 3 cells right here need to be blue because of the string. Completing this one, and this one's already completed. And now, one remaining 1 cell to be marked. Has to be blue. It has to be blue. There you go. See, it has 1 mistake right here. 1 mistake, that sounds kind of wrong. 1 mistake. It didn't score me down because I think it's 1 point per 2 mistakes that is scored down. So let's just keep going. Oh, unlock to row 2. Let's see what Ward 2 has to offer. There's more cells, no more rules. Let's see here. We have these 3 cells need to be blue because of the 3. Completing this 3 right here, which spawns a 2 that is also completed, which spawns the 1 that is also completed, which spawns 0 that is completed. And because of the 0, I have to mark these 2 as black as well. And now, to satisfy the 3 and the 1s, all these need to be blue. This 2 up here is already completed, which spawns a 2 that is already completed as well. We mark this blue to complete this 2. This one is already completed. This one is already completed. Now we follow the trails. Oops! Hands faster than the brain. I didn't realize it was 1, so it needs to be marked as blue. There you go. That's a mistake I'm gonna do very often. Damn hands. And now this one's completed because of this blue. The rest of these are in black. Excellent. Next one. We'll start with the easy one, the 0s. Now let's see. This one right here is completed. 2 to be completed requires this, which completes this 2. And to complete this two, we require this one. And this one is completed now. This one is also completed. This two is completed for these two blues. This one is completed for this blue. And same for this one. Same for this one. Same for this one. Now this two requires this two, and the one requires this one to be blue. This one requires this one to be blue. Completing two, and the one here. Forcing this one to be blue. Out of options. And same for this one. Requires this two to be blue. Two as in TOO. Brain, thank you. Now this two is completed. This one is completed. This one forces this one to be blue, completing the other one. Spawning one that is completed. Spawning one that requires this one, the same as this one. Now let's go over to this one, which is completed. Spawning more ones that are completed. And now forcing this, and this to be blue because of the twos that are spawned. This two is completed, so now we can do that. This three is completed, so now we can do that. This two requires this to be blue, completing this two. This three is completed, so black. And this two is completed, so black. Further down, we have this one is completed. This one is completed. Now this two requires this to be blue, and this two requires this to be blue, completing this two. 0 remaining. The rest are black. Word to 4. Start with the zeros, easy game. This one is completed, this one is completed. All these ones are completed. These two have to be satisfied by this. This is completed. This is also completed. This is also completed. Amazing, this is also completed. So now this one requires this to be blue. It's out of options. The same with this one right here. Which forces this one, which completes the other one, which forces this one, which completes this. Okay, next over we have this two here that requires this one to be completed. Now completing this two. And now we hit a roadblock. We cannot complete this because we don't know where the other blues would be. So let's go over to this one right here, shall we? This one's completed, so mark the other as black. This two is completed. This two forces this one to be blue, completing this two. This one's completed. This two forces both of these to be blue, completing this other two. Now this one's completed. This one's completed. Let's see what else. This one's completed, which spawns a 2 that forces this one to be blue. And now this one is completed. Back down here we have the 2 that needs to be satisfied, so we're gonna do that, completing the 1. This one's completed, so we mark those. This 2 is completed, so we mark that. This 2 is also completed, mark that. For this 2, only one option remaining to satisfy it. So this is blue, completing this 1 and the 2. This one is already completed. And now, to satisfy these 2, we need to complete them with this blue. Back down here, we have this 2 to be... well, that is already completed. Spawns 2 ones that are already completed. And now this 1 and this 2 require this to be blue. Over here on the little left, we have 1 that is completed. Now 1 remaining, 1 here. It's blue. Okay, next one starts with the zeros. As long as we have zeros, we'll go marking those down. No more zeros left. We'll follow from this one here. This is completed, completed, completed. Has to be completed with this one. What can we do here? This one is completed, so mark these 2 as black. This 3 has to be completed by these 2, otherwise not happy. Now this one's completed. Another 0, great. This one forces this one to be blue. I think we can do anything further with this. line of thought, so let's go over to this 2, which only has 2 yellow cells adjacent to be blue. Completing this other 2, so mark those as black. This one's completed, so mark that down. This one's completed, mark that down. Now going up here, this one has to be completed with this one, completing all 3 ones here. So we're gonna mark all adjacents to that as blue. And now these 3 have to be blue to satisfy both the 2 and the 3. A lot of cells remaining to be marked, but only 7 remaining to be blue. Let's look over to this one right here, where we have completed already. This one's completed, so mark those as black, mark that as black. Now, this 2 right here needs this to be blue, completing this other 2. Moving further to the bottom left, we have both of these ones and the 2 requiring this to be blue, which completes this one. Spawns a 0, excellent. Spawns a 2 that is already completed. Spawns a 3 that is already completed. Spawns a 1 that is already completed. Spawning a 1, making this be blue because this has no other option to satisfy it. Now this one's completed, mark this. And now both of these 2 requiring this one to be blue. Furthermore, we have the same situation on both of these 2s here. They only have 1 other cell to satisfy them. We'll mark those. This one's completed, so mark that. This one's completed, we mark that. Both these ones are completed, so we mark those. And this one needs this to be blue. That's it for World 2. I think I'm gonna call it here for today. It's good progress for one video. It's gonna be a short video, I think. I can't see how long it is because it's gonna cut this out. Applications that cut this out when they're minimized, but yeah. That's it for today. And thank you for watching. I think I will be back soon. Bye bye.